When is a harbour not a harbour? It's not actually a joke or a puzzle, but I will reveal the answer in just a moment. Today's buyers, Rachel and Carl, want to swap their urban life in London for a coastal escape. We introduce them to the neighbours and confound their expectations.
There's a lot to take in.
I wasn't quite expecting a room like this.
Brain is whirring.
Wow.
Wow.
Today I'm in Cornwall and this is Pentuan Harbour, which until relatively recently was indeed a harbour. In fact, for centuries it was a busy fishing port, and in Victorian times it shipped a third of the country's China clay. But problems with silting and the rise of rival ports like Charleston and Parr led to this harbour's downfall. The last ship sailed in 1940 and the mouth of the harbour is now completely silted up. The water-filled basin remains, but as you can see, Pentuan Harbour is really just a village pond. Cornwall, a peninsula in southwest England, is surrounded by sea, but for the border it shares with its only neighbour Devon. It's defined by over 400 miles of spectacular coastline, the dramatic granite cliffs, perfect bathing beaches, and pretty harbour towns have all made Cornwall the UK's holiday hotspot. Tourism is now the county's main income, contributing over 1.1 billion much-needed pounds to the local economy. On the north coast, one of the popular destinations is the town of St Ives. And it's no surprise, with its picture-perfect winding streets, family-friendly sandy beaches and the beautifully designed Tate Art Gallery, you'd want to spend more than a weekend to take it all in. The south side of the coast doesn't disappoint either. Villages such as Pentuan offer staggeringly beautiful beaches, ideal for swimming and sunbathing, and harbour walls at villages like Megavissey lend themselves perfectly for a spot of crabbing, or just for sitting on to enjoy the view that's remained unchanged for decades. Alongside that cornucopia of Cornish bounty, there is more good news. Properties here are not too expensive. Of course, if you want to live with a sea view in a period property on the coast, then you will have to dig deep. But if you're planning to move to this county, consider this. An average detached house here costs £266,000, which is £10,000 less than the rest of the country. And what about our discerning buyers this week? What are they after? Well, let's meet them and find out. Rachel and Carl have been married for 16 years, and it was house buying that first brought them together.
We met because Rachel did my mortgage. I guess she liked what she saw on the bank statements.
That is true. I take getting to know my customer very seriously.
Rachel is a financial advisor, while Carl is an IT consultant, and their current ground floor flat in Beckenham, southeast London, has suited their busy London lifestyle.
We currently live in Beckenham, which is southeast London. We've lived in this exact flat for 10 years.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years to the day. We bought this area because it's a good commuter into London.
The area has worked well for them, but Rachel has had multiple sclerosis for 20 years and is now finding it harder to move about. They've decided to escape the city and move somewhere rural that they hope will make both of their lives a little easier.
My health used to be quite good. We've done lots of awesome things whilst it was good, but now it's moved into sort of more of a progressive phase, so I'm not able to do as much as I could before and get tired very easily. Can't really move about as much, so we're just looking at what our next challenge is and find lots of things that we can do rather than be reminded of things that we can't anymore, really.
Exactly.
After visiting close friends in St Austell, they've decided that Cornwall could be just what they're looking for.
We want to move to Cornwall because every time we go there, it's kind of place you just fall in love with it over and over again.
I've got this big dream of living by the seaside, and you'll let me do that, which is great.
But their move means they need to find more than just a house. They also need to start a new business.
I can't do my job in Cornwall. Rachel doesn't want to do her job, so we want a property that offers business potential. So either a B&B, holiday lets, maybe campsite.
It's a step into the unknown for both of them, but one they're relishing.
You can go anywhere you like for a wonderful cream tea, which we're known to enjoy, one or two, and it's just a really relaxed pace of life that I like. It just looks beautiful. You live every day like on a postcard, which is lovely.
For our search, we're concentrating on central Cornwall. Ideally, they'd like to be near their friends in St Austell and somewhere rural yet close to holidaymakers for their new business. I'm going to meet them to dig into the details of their proposed move.
Welcome to Cornwall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, what's a lovely part of the world. And it's interesting because you've moved from a very busy bit of London to quite a remote corner of the country. Are you ready for that remoteness? You don't want to be in a town or a...
Not a town. We're happy with the village. So if there's some kind of amenities there, a pub or post office or corner shop, that would be fine. But not a large town because of Rachel's mobility. We want a place which is less crowded.
In terms of the MS and how that's going to affect the house, I suppose ideally you're looking for somewhere that's on one level, are you?
In an ideal world, yes, that would be our preferred option, because that just makes it so much easier for me to get around. We have sort of said, look, we would consider somewhere that has one flight of stairs because we can put a stair lift in. Less rooms but bigger rooms is our ideal. We're not the sort of people where like a really quirky, rickety cottage, that sort of doesn't really work for us at all.
So that's the living quarters. What about the actual business side? What are you actually going to do?
Excellent question. We don't have an answer. We're not sure. We just know that we need to earn some money because we're packing our jobs in London. So we're looking at different options, either B&B, holiday lets. I'm quite keen on something where we can add value to the property. So it would be nice to have a business where we can have an income, but I'd quite like to add some capital value as well by maybe building some storehouses, or maybe putting a new kitchen if we need to do a new kitchen, or a downstairs bathroom for Rachel, which would be much easier for Rachel.
So you're happy to do all those sorts of things?
Absolutely.
Well,
I'm happy to get somebody in to do those things.
we know it's unlikely we'll find everything, but if it's got the bare bones that we can work from and make it what we want, then no, that's fine.
The budget is 500.
500.
Yes, that's right.
But how much is the kind of war chest? How much are we talking that you could play
We've
with?
probably got about up to 150,000 to play with for renovations, extra developments.
And you're also in this amazingly good position because you've sold your flat in London, aren't you? You're cash rich. You're every property's vendor's dream.
Let's hope
Cash
so.
rich, flexible. Well, we've got 3 lovely properties to show you, so I hope one of them fits the bill.
Let's hope so. Thank you.
Thank you.
With a healthy budget of £500,000 and £150,000 extra for work, Carl and Rachel are ideally looking for a single-storey house, but would consider adapting with stair lifts. They'd like spacious rooms and at least 2 bedrooms. They're also looking for outbuildings or land to convert for their holiday business. And location is key. They want to be near a potential tourist market and less than an hour from St Austell. We found a trio of houses all set within rolling Cornish countryside, but we're going to keep the prices a surprise until the end of each tour. Our final destination is the Mystery House, and it will be a very big surprise. For our first property, we're heading to southeast Cornwall, to the village of St Ive. It's just a 7-minute drive from the popular market town of Liskeard. Liskeard is an ancient town that dates back to Norman times, and its buildings are testament to its rich past. On the parade is Stuart House, where Charles I lodged in 1644 when his forces were chasing the parliamentarians. It's now used as a community building for arts and heritage. The Victorian Guildhall, built in 1859, also remains with its original clock tower. Market days are still held every Monday and Thursday, and there's an annual fair every July that was first held in 1266. Our first house is a 5-minute drive from Liskeard and lies on the edge of the village of St Ive.
OK, so this is house number 1.
It's amazing.
It's big.
It's definitely big.
But you can see you've got some outbuildings out there which we can explore later on, which are ripe for development further down the line. But this is an interesting property because it's already got an annex. You see this door here? This is a completely separate annex, which they already rent out. And then you've got the actual house here, which is where they live. I think it's going to make more sense when you look inside, because then you get an idea of what you can do.
Okay.
Thanks.
This remodelled 18th century property is nearly 3,000 square feet in size. We're starting our tour in the kitchen in the main part of the house where Rachel and Carl could live.
Step in. It's got a long kitchen. It's not really a galley kitchen because it's sort of a bit wide.
No, it's nice. I mean, the kitchen doesn't really need much. The floor is lovely. Maybe just change the
solid wood floor.
worktop, just to freshen it up. But other than that, it's a very nice
It's
space.
functional day one.
Yeah, it's completely usable.
You can move in here day one and you wouldn't have to change anything.
No.
It could be second year or third year, you could change it, but you wouldn't need to.
No, it's very nice.
Yeah, so it goes down there, it goes around the corner, there's a sort of breakfast area, really, sort of dining area.
Okay.
And you've got this sort of lean-to here, which, I mean, I suppose that you could think about pushing the kitchen back out to the garden. But there's a downstairs loo sort of wedged in at the end there.
Yeah, it's always
see,
always useful.
Well, I think the front of the house is certainly the sunnier part in the morning, so come through into the sitting room.
Thank you.
This is a lovely big space. You might want to think through the decor. It's got a lot of furniture in, but if you think what a sort of floor space you've got here, it's got a lot of potential.
No, it has. It's a big room. Lovely fireplaces. I do like those. I think it really works.
Yeah, this has been all revealed as probably the oldest part of the house.
Can you expect a Cornish cottage or house to be quite cramped and low ceiling, but this is really high ceiling as well. It feels really spacious.
Obviously, we've got the stairs, which are a bit of a disaster for you.
Yeah, that's my eye is drawn to that. The stairs are not great. We'd have to have a think about the stairs, what we would do to make those work better for us.
Upstairs is 3 bedrooms, all en suite.
Right.
Two good-sized ones, one smaller. And you could feasibly have those as B&B rooms, so you don't actually use the upstairs at all.
Okay.
Convert all this into your living space.
I thought it's kind of just brain is whirring with lots of ideas and
that's
thoughts
why
about
it's
what
like
we
it
could
looked
do.
on different spaces.
Because there's so much space and lots of options, which is good.
So that's your head part. I want to try and get your heart, because this room I love.
Okay.
There is a second large living room that could easily be converted into a downstairs bedroom.
You can see your neighbours. Lovely.
Wow, what a view.
It's a fabulous view, isn't it?
It's incredible.
I'm hoping this room's going to kind of hypnotise you into buying the whole property.
It is beautiful. A lovely wood burner.
I wasn't quite expecting a room like this from the outside.
Yeah. So you're looking over to Dartmoor, you can just about see it on the horizon.
Okay.
Behind that hill.
Oh, I see,
Yeah.
I suppose the difficult thing, I think this is going to be the case for all of our properties, is like, how are you going to make this work for you in terms of like, business?
I feel with the annex and with the outbuildings, that could possibly give us enough income without losing the upstairs, so we could keep the upstairs for ourselves.
I know the business side is important, so next I'm going to show them the 2-bed annex, which could be a ready-made solution for their holiday plans.
We've essentially got a completely self-contained unit here.
Yeah.
Come into the kitchen. Here's a sort of twin room with an ensuite. Upstairs it sort of spreads out over the width of the house, so you've got a double bedroom and a bathroom.
Okay.
And then a really lovely sort of day room for the guests, which has the same view as that lovely room we were just in.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And what's nice about this is obviously it's up and running.
It's perfect as a holiday
good.
let.
There's also a lovely garden with a greenhouse, and excitingly, there are further options for holiday lettings with 3 outbuildings.
So here you get a good overview of the outbuildings, particularly you've got 3 properties here. This one at the end is almost ready, really. It's all kind of lined and sealed, got a floor in. This one would require a little bit more work, and this garage has got a big floor space.
So you'd have 3 lets there, the let next to the house, and the house would be the private residence. That's perfect. And lots of car parking space as well.
Yeah, I mean,
That's really ideal, isn't it?
I mean, you wouldn't have to do all 3 all at once, but certainly there's potential there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So how much do you think it's on the market for?
Do you want to go first?
Okay. I'm not very good at this because I don't really know the market here, but I think probably about 465.
465. I'm gonna go 445.
Well, it's actually a little bit more. It's on at 475.
Okay, that seems reasonable.
So why don't you walk around inside and maybe have an idea about how you're going to configure it. You might not want to venture up those stairs if you don't care to, but just to get sort of a ballpark idea of what you might do with it, and I'll see you probably back here.
Okay, thanks, Alistair.
Thanks.
It's a challenging one, of course, because how are you going to configure things, but I think there's so much potential, particularly with these outbuildings, long term. It could be a real winner. It's whether financially it all stacks up.
Under their maximum budget by £25,000, this detached property with a self-contained annex and outbuildings offers a lot for their money. It has large light rooms and it's under an hour's drive from their favoured area, St Austell.
Overall, really interesting property. The holiday let's definitely interesting. The one that's up and running is great because that gives us an income straight away, which is exactly what we wanted and really doesn't need any work doing to it. And the potential for the other buildings to be converted into holiday lets is also very interesting and very exciting for us.
As a business, it works. For us as a couple, it probably doesn't work so much.
I'm very sort of concerned about how much adaptation we'd need to do.
OK, do you have a good look round?
Yes,
We did,
yes,
we did.
yeah.
Lots of thoughts?
Lots of thoughts, yeah.
Well, bracket those for the moment because we've got another property to look at.
Oh,
Well, over here.
exciting, thanks.
Thanks.
Cornwall's dramatic coastline and stunning beaches have long attracted artists, writers and thinkers from all over the UK. Rachel and Carl are keen photographers, and their escape to Cornwall is fuelled by a desire to live amongst the rural beauty captured in some of their photos. We've brought them to Penzance to meet ceramic tile artist Brenda Bates, who along with her husband swapped city life 7 years ago to run their tile business.
Welcome to my studio.
Thank you.
I'd like to show you a little bit of the process of how we actually make the tiles and decorate them.
Every year they make over 100,000 tiles by hand and sell them online and in their cafe. Each tile is made using Cornish clay.
What's so special about this Cornish clay?
Cornish clay is very, very pure and very fine, and it's the china clay that gives it the whiteness to the actual clay. But if you feel it, it's very, very smooth.
Yeah, you can really feel
Yeah.
the smoothness of it.
Is that the same as they make sort of tea and coffee cups out of, the same
Yes, it is.
clay?
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you always used this clay?
We've always used that clay right from the beginning when we first started making tiles. It gives a very nice surface as well to decorate onto.
The basic clay tiles are fired in the kiln, pressed and then glazed. This gives them a lovely smooth surface suitable for Barbara's decoration. She's particularly fond of using old postcard designs that depict popular Cornish villages.
Oh, it's St Ives, Carby's Bay. I've been
That's
there.
right.
Oh yeah, it's lovely.
And then we've got the lizard point. And basically what we do with these is we take the original postcard and then have them made into a digital ceramic print,
Okay.
which then enables us to actually transfer that image onto a tile.
The first stage is to create the transfers, and to do this, the printed out design is cut to match the size of the tile and then submerged in water.
Perhaps you'd like to do that, Carl?
Okay.
And how many would you make in a day?
Depends which ones they are. I mean, you can probably make up to 1,000 tiles a day.
Really?
Yes,
Gosh.
if you're really moving with it. Depends what you're doing, really.
After a few minutes, the water separates the picture from the backing paper. Next, they have to be lifted out carefully and placed directly onto the tile.
Would you like to have a...
I'll
see if
have
you
a go.
can have a go? So you just basically grab the edge of it.
Show my artistic skills. So usually
That's it.
very little.
There you go. Centralise it. Yeah. They do tear quite easily, so you've got to be reasonably gentle. That's perfect.
They use a tool called a squeegee to smooth out all the water from underneath the picture.
Then just sort of hold it and that's it. Press it in one direction. That's it. There you go. Brilliant. And then just wipe off the excess water.
Concentrating so hard.
Next, the tiles are placed above a heater to remove any remaining moisture before being placed into the kiln, where they are glazed to perfection.
It's lovely.
Which you can then tile on. You could tile that on a wall, or use it as a display decorative thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So there you are. You've made your first tile.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Brenda. That's,
You're very
that's really
welcome.
kind.
It's really interesting. Thank you ever so much.
You're very
Brenda.
welcome.
Yeah, that's
Thanks.
really, really interesting.
We've given Rachel and Carl a glimpse of what it might be like to run a new venture in Cornwall, so let's see if we can now find them a house that's as pretty as a postcard. House number 2 is 25 miles west of House 1 in the Roche Valley and 5 miles from the nearest village of Lanivet. Geographically the centre of Cornwall, Lanivet is just 2.5 miles from Bodmin, the former county town. It has local amenities and a village inn. Its Grade 1 parish church dates back to the 15th century and it regularly holds festivals and events. An 8-minute drive from Lanivet takes us to our second house, set deep in the countryside of Roche.
So what are you thinking as we walk in?
There's a lot to take in.
There's building there, there's a building there, there's buildings there, there's fields. What?
Which one belongs to you?
Which one is the property?
Well, how would you feel if I said it all belongs to you, or could all belong to you if you bought it? Because the whole thing is the property.
Wow.
Wow.
It is a lot to take in. The main farmhouse is Grade 2 listed and could be in need of adaptation. So I want to start this tour with the annex, because although it's not huge, it is all on one level, and I wonder if it would make a good base, at least to start with.
This is the sitting room and kitchenette. The guy who owns it works with wood, so a lot of the sort of beams and the sort of like ornamental beams above the windows, the lintels are made by him.
OK. Well, it's very nice, very good, very good quality.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
But it is a kitchen in your sitting room.
We used to London flats where the kitchen is often in the sitting room.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ours isn't quite like that, but a lot of flats are. So it's not something we're completely against.
No.
Well, through here there's a very nice, well, bedroom, nice for a couple with a little ensuite and doors out onto the sort of patio looking in the field.
Oh, patio area. Oh, it's lovely.
It's perfect for a couple on holiday. It's just ideal.
Would it be suitable for you to live in?
It could for very short term whilst we're doing up the other property, but the risk of living in this while we're doing up the other property is we have no income, and actually we probably lose any kind of goodwill that other people have had as they come if they want to come back.
I think we'd probably be more inclined to leave this, you know, generating income and find somewhere for ourselves to stay till the other house was ready.
Well, then we should go and look at the house.
Yeah.
OK.
The main farmhouse dates back to the 17th century, with a later addition from the 1970s at the back.
This is what they call in the books a traditional country kitchen.
Yeah, gosh, it is.
It's very traditional.
Yes,
I must admit, it's not the kind of kitchen I would be looking for. It's not to my taste.
Well, what are you looking for then?
I guess something a little bit more modern, and because this is all brickwork, you would actually have to knock out everything to put the kind of kitchen I would want back in. I'm not sure the work that I would want to do would either be allowed or would actually change this to the kind of style I would like.
Well, let's continue into the sitting room.
I wonder if this farmhouse-style living room, although impressive, might also not be to their taste.
Is this the only room down here?
This is the sum total of the ground floor, yes.
OK.
OK.
So no downstairs bathroom.
No,
No,
that's
that's a
pretty much
key.
the deal breaker, I think, for
Yeah.
me. It's absolutely beautiful, but I think we have to use our heads rather than our hearts.
I think the thing is that, because in your price range, we tend to be looking at historic cottages that have outbuildings that have been converted into holiday lets. And Cornish cottages tend to be like this.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And that might be where we need to maybe change our requirements somehow. I'm not sure how, but somehow.
Well, don't give up yet.
Upstairs there are 3 good-sized bedrooms, all doubles, and a family bathroom. But sadly, I think this cottage style is too impractical for them.
I think it's absolutely charming, and I'd love to come on holiday here. But if it doesn't work for me to live here, I think it'd be a great pub, though.
I wonder if the potential space outside could change their minds. There's an impressive 1.7 acres of gardens, fields, and even 3 stable blocks.
You can see the historic part of the house here. Obviously, all the land at the back. What do you think it's on the market for?
I'll go first this time. Difficult one, because there's a lot of land and a lot of buildings. But I'm going to go pretty close to the budget and say 495.
Oh, what about you, Rachel?
I don't know. I was going to say probably something around that figure as well. So I'm going to say perhaps it's just over, and it's about 515.
Well, interestingly, this is actually less. It's on the market for £427,500.
Well, OK.
OK.
I mean, I can understand that it would be it needs a lot of money and work spent on it, but I thought with the land, because I've been in London, you expect land to be quite expensive.
Yeah.
See, city mice never understand land.
No, we don't.
They're really kind of like, oh, land. Confusing, isn't it?
Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting. That makes it more interesting.
No, I think it's good value.
Yeah, it's good value.
And a great project, but just unfortunately, it doesn't quite. Our head has to rule our heart this time.
Unfortunately.
More than £72,000 under budget, this 3-bedroom farmhouse property with holiday annex and 1.7 acres of land offers a lot of potential, and it's just 20 minutes drive from St Austell.
First impressions were really, really good of the land and the holiday potential. Fortunately for me, the house just didn't live up to everything else.
The house doesn't really work for me. Again, the stairs are a challenge, those kind of open stairs, and here it will be more difficult to make the change. Even though it's beautiful, I don't think it's for us.
Oh, you're feeding these extraordinary blue-eyed ponies.
Yeah.
OK, well, it's time to go. We've done our house searching for today. Time for a rest.
Great,
Okay,
thank you.
excellent.
Bye, horsey.
It's the second day of our property hunt, and with a good budget of £500,000, we're helping Rachel and Carl to leave their busy lives in London behind and start a new home and business in carefree Cornwall. Still to come, our mystery house comes as a big surprise,
Okay, wow.
I was expecting that to the other building.
and I'll be getting a taste of the sea.
It's quite delicate, isn't it?
Day 2 of our property search here in lovely Cornwall, and this is a complicated one. We knew it was going to be, because not only are we looking for a new home, a new business, a new income stream, but also we've got to take on board Rachel's mobility issues. And yesterday it was quite striking. Although they're very flexible, the first 2 houses really seemed to firm up what was non-negotiable. And I heard a couple of times them saying, it'd be quite nice if we could just build our own place. And so the mystery house definitely gives them that option amongst many others. But it's big. It's very big. The Mystery House is a 30-minute drive east of our second house and is found in the village of Morville, less than 5 miles from the sea and the pretty harbour town of Looe. Positioned on both sides of the River Looe, West Looe is joined to the east by a 7-arched bridge built in 1853. Looe has been a tourist resort for more than 200 years, with holidaymakers drawn to the busy harbour in the east, where they even have the chance to taste the catch of the day. A 4-mile drive from the coast of Looe brings us outside the village of Morville to our final mystery stop.
The mystery is, what are you going to do with all of this? Because there's a lot to this property.
Wow.
Okay.
Some of it which you can't actually see from here. Essentially, all of this is ripe for development.
Look
it's-
at all this.
Okay, so this is all included?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
So basically, it's a little cluster of properties. This one is yours, and this belongs to you.
So this part isn't a working farm anymore?
No.
Because as we came up, we could just see through some little gates, and there's that expanse behind is part of this.
That expanse is part of it.
And that's a big expanse.
It's
as
a
well.
big expanse.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll have to bear with me because it's quite complicated. There's lots of bits and pieces.
Okay.
But what we liked about this is that essentially there is a part that you could move in on a flat level with bathrooms and bedrooms and a kitchen all on one level.
I like it already.
Yeah. So should we go and look at that bit
Yes,
first?
brilliant.
so.
Thank you, Alistair.
The main house in this farm complex is a Grade 2 listed 19th century barn, which has been beautifully converted. On the ground floor to the left are the utility rooms, to the centre the living areas, and to the right a family bathroom and 2 bedrooms where we're beginning our tour.
2 bedrooms here, very beautifully, very recently as well, finished. Taking in a lot of the original beams of the agricultural buildings.
Yeah, it's lovely. So light.
Yeah.
Very lovely and light in here.
So that's the south-facing side, so that's where you get all the daylight.
And really nice patio doors out onto the terrace. That's lovely.
So basically, you've got a whole suite of living quarters here. You've got, say, bathroom, 2 bedrooms. Next door, you've got the kitchen.
Yep.
Oh, wow. It's a bit bigger than the last one, huh?
Yes.
It certainly is.
It's exactly what I had in mind for a country kitchen. It's lovely. Really nice, square, easy to get around.
Nice proper granite surfaces if you're interested in baking.
Yeah, I do. I love that bread making, and that's perfect. A really nice cold top.
Dishwasher?
Yeah, dishwasher space.
I don't have to wash up anymore.
No, you can wash up anyway. Lots of space. Very, very nicely laid out.
I guess my only initial concern is the floor is a little bit uneven, so I think we'd have to take that up.
You know, that's easily doable.
Absolutely,
isn't
yeah.
it?
But that's the only thing in here that I would...
it's
Everything else
absolutely
is beautiful.
lovely.
It's really nice.
Very, very nice. Just what we had in mind.
Good. Good.
It's all good so far.
Next to the kitchen is a spacious reception room, and then right at the end is another bathroom and a boot room. It seems they like the downstairs, but now I want to show them what's above. And the upstairs sitting room is an impressive 33 feet long.
Vast room, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really lovely. It's
Very
so sunny.
light, yeah. That second property yesterday was so dark and closed in, but this is just the complete opposite.
Yeah.
There's so much light
It's
in
nice.
space.
It's got kind of the light that the first property had and the
yes.
views, but
Yes.
just in a much more, even more beautiful setting, really.
Yeah, because you've got wonderful views sort of down and very close to Loo, which is a great sort of magnet for tourists.
Yeah, there's lots of holiday makers go there, which is great for business.
Through there is a guest room with an ensuite, and this is their master bedroom, a much bigger room with
Okay.
another ensuite.
Wow, lots of
It's
bathrooms and lots of space.
So there is the possibility that you use this temporarily to live in while you develop this area over here.
Yeah, the barn.
Because that is a big, it's about 240 square metres
Gosh.
worth of living
Square
space.
meters, okay.
That's
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 two and a half-
big.
that's 2.5 times the size of our flat in London.
yeah. Instead of getting rid of our furniture, we'd need a lot more.
So there you could make an absolutely perfect,
make it
designed
Good.
to is everything you need.
Yeah.
Or you could use another source of income.
Oh, okay.
Dun, dun,
Interesting.
dun.
The mystery isn't over yet. As well as the stables that they glimpsed on the way in, there's also this.
Another building.
Neighbours?
No, this is not neighbours, this is you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
This is a ready-made, newly finished holiday let.
Wow.
Okay, wow.
I wasn't expecting that to do the building.
No.
The current owners have just finished converting this smaller barn into a holiday cottage with 2 ensuite bedrooms, a kitchen diner, and a downstairs shower room. And, as if this wasn't enough, there's also the former dairy and stables, which potentially could be turned into 3 self-catering holiday units.
So there's lots of options.
Yeah, loads.
I'm going to let you explore that at your own leisure, but let's just pop round the corner here to talk about land and price.
Okay.
Gosh.
So it's about 2.5, bit over that, acres.
Gosh.
So it's the biggest plot that we've shown you.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
How much do you think it's on the market for?
Well, I'm hoping somewhere along the line you took account of what our budget is. So I'm going to be optimistic and say 499,950.
Okay, I'm going to say a nice round 500,000.
Right. Well, in this instance, Carl wins because it is exactly £500,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think we both win there.
I think we both do win. That's a lot of property for 500,000.
For that money.
A lot of property, but is it the property that you can imagine making work for you?
I think we could.
Don't tell me. Shh.
Okay. No. we
Go
couldn't.
stroll and explore because there's a lot to take in. I haven't, kind of whisked you around. Put your thinking caps on, see if you can make sense of it all. And I'll see you over by the other bit of land.
OK, thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
Oh.
Remarkably, at £500,000, this entire farm complex is affordable for Rachel and Carl. It has 4 bedrooms, a large kitchen and sitting room, a newly renovated holiday annex, land for a campsite, and is less than an hour from St Austell.
This is definitely a very strong possibility for us.
It's got everything we're asking for, but actually we were hoping to get just one of the options with the mystery house. So maybe just a field, or maybe just a barn, or maybe just an annex for a holiday let. But the mystery house has actually given us more than that, so we like everything about it, and we're just a little bit overwhelmed, I think, at the moment.
Best of all, it's also somewhere that's really accessible for me, and we could make it even more so. And design our own house in the future to have the perfect property. It's really exciting.
Hello.
Hi.
Have you managed to get your head around the complex offering here?
We're trying to, but I think it'll take a little bit more time to do that.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you've seen all the houses, so let's find a space where you can gather your thoughts.
Excellent.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Fishing has always played its role in Cornwall's history and culture. Nowadays, fish are kept their freshest from the moment they're caught, with many boats having onboard refrigeration. But for centuries, the only way of preserving a catch was in salt, which was produced across the county. However, in late Victorian times, huge rock salt reserves were discovered in places like Winsford in Cheshire. Easier and much cheaper to harvest, it all but halted the production of salt in Cornwall. However, in the last decade, Cornish sea salt has had a resurgence, and I've come to the Lizard Peninsula to meet Philip Tanswell, a Cornish sea salt manufacturer.
Philip, this is not a bad place to work.
No, it's a very good place to work. Fantastic.
Is it a good place to run a salt works?
Fantastic place to run a salt works. We have lovely grade A seawater out here, which is fantastic for making our sea salt. We're in an area which is sort of famous for its history of salt manufacturing. We have Iron Age salt works around the corner. The perfect location for salt manufacturing.
So historically, how would they have done it?
They would have fires which they would light, and they would get clay pots, heat the water off, and then they'd have salt left over. Or they would trap water at the end of the estuary, hope for a good season, lots of wind and sunshine, and then eventually the water would be evaporated and they'd be left with salt at the end.
And then you came along and revived it.
We waited 100 years or so and then decided that it was long enough now to try again. Yeah, we looked around and realised that we could create from the fantastic clean sea we had, we could create some wonderful products.
So can we have a look around?
Philip and his team take the fresh seawater and carefully filter it to get rid of the silt and sand. Next, they concentrate it into a saturated brine, which is poured into these enormous salt pans and heated by overhead lamps.
Oh, it's really warm.
It's lovely warm in here. The salt really likes it hot. Humans like it less hot.
So these are the things that dry out the salt?
Yeah, so effectively what we're doing in here is we're replicating sunlight over the top of the tanks. The crystals we're after, the ones which are forming on the surface of the tank. And you can see, hopefully, these little specks, which are the little sodium chloride crystals forming as little squares. And as they grow into little pyramids, and they stay on the surface to the point where they're too heavy, and then they drop down to the bottom. If you want to grab that shovel over there, what we can do is we can pull along the side of the tank. You can probably pull into that corner.
Are you letting me do it?
I'll let you do it, it's fine. We can just lift into the water, into that gathering mass in the corner now.
Here?
Yep, just shovel it off.
Gosh, there's a lot. So how long has this been stewing?
This particular one has probably been in there now for probably 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours?
2 to 3 hours.
And already all these?
Drain, yeah. And there's texture. You get crystals in these tanks which form on the surface and at the bottom because salt will also form when it cools, and of course the bottom of the tanks are cooler than the tops.
Gosh, that's a good harvest already.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is the salt which is draining, and the salt which we took out is still quite moist in its texture. So if you look at, if you take the product and looked at it, it's still that the top of the tanks are drying out. But the salt crystals are great to see because you can see these fantastic little pyramids which are formed in the tanks.
The salt is then taken to another processing plant for air drying, and after a final screening, it's packaged up and ready to go.
So the finished product is this one, which is it's much drier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can I taste it?
Yes, no, go for it.
Oh,
I'll pull it there for you, and we'll reattach you back on that side.
It's quite delicate, isn't it? It's not doesn't knock you out like normal salt, chemical salt.
But it has
sort of comes in waves.
Yeah, very good. You've been practicing that one. But you have the magnesium salts in there as well, which are quite sweet. And that difference between the bitter and the sweetness gives you that lovely balanced profile, which is why chefs talk about using sea salt on their food. It's because it brings it out in such a good way.
Well, it's wonderfully Cornish, and that's what we celebrate today.
Yes.
So thank you very much for showing us around, and good luck with the future. Hope it
thank you.
booms.
Thank you, lovely.
It seems like the Mystery House may have overloaded the circuit boards because there are so many options. But now that Carl and Rachel have had a moment to digest, let's find out what they're thinking. Oh, a lovely spot you found. Very nice.
It's lovely.
I'm guessing that house number 3, the Mystery House, is the contender, is that right?
Definitely, yeah.
That knocked the other two off their perch.
Easily.
Yeah.
I'm not sure property 2 had a perch, to be honest.
Fair enough. So I suppose I'm interested in what happens next, because, you know, you've got to... When are you leaving your flat?
Probably about 4 weeks' time that we complete, so yeah.
So was the Mystery House enough of a contender that you're going to kind of push ahead in some way with it?
I think we're going to make more inquiries,
Yeah,
definitely.
We certainly need to look at the financial side of doing up the barn, how much that will cost. We need to see the plans in more detail to find out exactly what's on the plans and think about what to do with the land around it, because obviously there's lots of different options there as well. So we just need to look at all those different options, look at the costings for those, and then, yeah, it's definitely a contender.
Yeah, I think there's going to be lots of checking things on the internet and lots of questions to the estate agents and looking at what holiday lets in that area go for so that we can be sure that we've got all our facts right. It's definitely exactly what we were hoping for from this process. So
Exactly?
It is.
I think, I would say almost exactly.
Yeah, so well done.
It's been interesting over the course of the week to see, because when we started you were quite open about what you wanted, and it seems that some things have come into focus. Is that true?
Well, one of the things that's really crystallised for me is just how important it is that we get our living accommodation right. I suppose another good positive is that we can do it. We definitely are on the right track, and that the budget isn't completely unrealistic. And Cornwall is definitely the place for us.
Yeah. Well, I hope everything goes well. It's been interesting showing you around. You are very heartfelt, very enthusiastic, but I do notice, I can tell that you both work in finance, there's a sort of steely side of number crunching going on as well. So I wish you well. I hope it all happens, and it happens soon.
Thank you, Alistair.
Thank you very much.
It's been lots of fun. Thank you.
What a brilliant house hunt. I think it was quite a challenging one to get everything that Carl and Rachel wanted, but I certainly think the Mystery House provides them lots of possibilities for a home and an income stream. And if you've been inspired by the British countryside, then make sure you tune in next time for more Escape to the Country. Carl and Rachel returned for a second viewing of the Mystery House, but planning permission concerns prevented them from taking it further. Their search continues, and we wish them all the very best. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Wales, Scotland or Northern Ireland and would like our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.